story to tell. It can be said that since the Vietnam War, the 1991 Gulf War was the first war that the US and its allies mobilized a large amount of high-tech weapons. The Gulf War took place from January 17, 1990 to February 28, 1991 between Iraq and a coalition of nearly 30 countries headed by the United States on the other. This was considered a typical war about the use of high-tech weapons. During this war, the United States and its allies used a variety of modern weapons, such as the F-117A stealth bomber, laser and infrared guided missiles, and bombs. The war media called them smart weapons, or weapons of fire and forget. That is, self-guidance and destruction of targets after being launched from flying vehicles. In this war, the United States and its allies used a total of 35 aircraft types, 12 models of helicopters, 14 types of tanks and armored vehicles, 8 types of artillery, 23 types of ballistic missiles, bombs and ammunition, and 9 types of anti-aircraft vehicles. In addition, the US and its allies have mobilized a large number of naval ships. With such powerful force and equipment, carrying unbeatable power, with the operations Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and Desert Squad. With intense preemptive attacks, the US and its allies made the Iraqi army unable to withstand. Early in the morning of January 17, 1991, the US and its allies began a massive air strike with more than 1,000 sorties a day. The campaign against Iraq, codenamed Desert Storm. Their aim was to soften the battlefield, forcing Iraq to surrender. The weapons used in the campaign were precision-guided weapons, cluster bombs, BLU-82 Daisy cutters, and cruise missiles. During this war, the A-10 Thunderbolt II entered combat. According to Wikipedia, the A-10 destroyed more than 900 Iraqi tanks, 2,000 other military vehicles, and 1,200 artillery pieces. A-10s also shot down 2 Iraqi helicopters with GAU-8 cannon. The A-10 had a mission-capable rate of 95.7%, flew 8,100 sorties, and launched 90% of the AGM-65 Maverick missiles fired in the conflict. The A-10 Thunderbolt II, manufactured by Czech Republic for the US Air Force for close support, provides air support directly to infantry by attacking tanks, armored vehicles, and other ground targets. This is the first aircraft of the US Air Force specifically designed for the task of providing close-range aerial support. Before the Gulf War, the US planned to remove the A-10 from service in 1990. But due to the efficient operation of this war, especially in anti-tank warfare, the US now continues to spend money to upgrade to A-10C standard, and it is expected that the A-10 will be used by 2030. An important part of Operation Desert Storm was the B-52 Stratofortress strikes. Starting on January 16, 1991, a flight of B-52Gs flew from Barbados, AFB, Louisiana, refueled in the air en route, struck targets in Iraq, and returned home, a journey of 35 hours and 14,000 miles round trip, or 23,000 kilometers. It set a record for a longest distance combat mission, breaking the record previously held by the Royal Air Force Vulcan bomber in 1982. Those 7 B-52s flew the first combat sorties of Operation Desert Storm, firing 35 AGM-86C CALCM standoff missiles, and successfully destroying 85 to 95% of their targets. As of the Gulf War, the U.S. Air Force had 447 B-52 aircraft, including 152 B-52Gs and 95 B-52s. In terms of armament, the B-52s used in the Gulf War were armed with stern anti-aircraft guns and capable of carrying 20 AGM-69 or AGM-86 cruise missiles. The B-52s play an important role in the Operation Desert Storm. During the Gulf War, the B-52 suffered only one crash, and a few others were slightly damaged. During the Gulf War, the role of suppression of enemy air defenses and reconnaissance was given to the F-4E Phantom II. During this war, the F-4G made 3,942 combat sorties, fired 1,000 air-to-ground missiles, and destroyed 200 Iraqi missile sites. Operation Desert Storm was the early combat appearance of the F-4G, developed from the famous Phantom II fighter and used to suppress enemy radar and surface-to-air missile sites. The F-4G Advanced Wide Visor was covered with 52 flush-mounted interferometers that detected incoming radar signals. The F-4G carried a satellite and 2 underwing external fuel tanks. It carried an AN/APR-47 RHAW radar homing and warning system in a chin port beneath its nose, instead of the usual M61 Vulcan 20mm rotary cannon. In addition, the AN/ALQ-119 jamming port in the left forward missile well, an empty right missile well, and a pair of AIM-7 Sparrow radar missiles in the rear wells. It carried chaff and flares, and its principal warlord was 2 AGM-88 high-speed anti-radiation missiles, hanging from outboard weapons stations. The Gulf War was a great promotional opportunity for the F-117A Nighthawk. From the first night of the attacks, the F-117A was employed against critical strategic Iraqi command and control installations, as well as key communication centers, research and development, production and storage facilities for nuclear and chemical weapons. It also was used to target especially hardened aircraft shelters at numerous Iraqi airfields. What is especially remarkable about the F-117 was that only 36 of the stealth fighters were deployed in the Desert Storm, accounting for just 2.5% of the total force of 1,900 fighters and bombers. But this flew more than a third of the bombing runs on the first day of the war. In total, during the operation, the F-117 conducted more than 1,250 sorties and dropped more than 2,000 tons of bombs during the missions that lasted a combined 6,900 hours. The success of the F-117A paved the way for a rapid introduction of the B-52 and other aircraft into combat. My video of the high-tech weapons of the 1991 Gulf War ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.